Canadians from coast to coast this morning took the time to remember those who bravely fought to defend this country. More than 66,000 Canadians lost their lives in World War I and more than 45,000 in World War II. Canadian troops also bravely fought in the Korean War from 1950 to 1953 and more recently in Afghanistan from 2001 to 2014. Today, on Remembrance Day, we wear a poppy to remember those who served and those who paid the ultimate price. Joining me now to discuss the importance of remembering our fallen soldiers is Brendan Caldwell, Director at Caldwell Securities Ltd. Brendan, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Theresa, especially today.
Now, you recently had the opportunity to visit several historical sites from the World Wars, Ypres and Vimy Ridge. Can you tell us about the impact Canadian soldiers had on these battles?
Yes, so in the First World War at Ypres, the Canadians were actually subjected to the very first gas attack, poison gas attack, and stood their ground. And the entire city over the course of the war was utterly leveled. And it was near there that Colonel John McCrae rode in Flanders Fields. So you'll see scores of Canadians buried at the Commonwealth War Grave just outside of Ypres. And then Vimy Ridge later in the war is where Canadians had their first great victory. It was the first time that all four Canadian corps fought together as one. And they took the ridge at the cost of thousands of lives. I think 10,000 casualties in total, about 3,000 or 4,000 who died, another 6,000 or 7,000 that were wounded. And they took a very strategic ridge, and it was really the first time Canada had fought entirely together as a country and achieved such a victory. And then I was with the Lincoln and Welland Regiment, which is the reserve regiment actually based where near where News Forum is down in St. Catharines, Ontario. And in the Second World War, October 29th, 1944, along with the Alberta Light Horse, the Lincoln and Welland Regiment liberated the town of Bergen-op-Zoom. And those Dutch listening will please forgive my accent. But it was in and around Holland, in that area of Holland, the regiment lost scores of its young men, both liberating the town and the area, the Scheldt, that whole region of the southern Netherlands. So it was actually Canada in the Second World War that freed the Dutch people. And the Dutch still remember it to this day. I think you showed a picture of the 80th anniversary celebration in Bergen-op-Zoom with the Lincoln and Welland Regiment parading down the street. And there were Canada flags everywhere. And the people of that town even named the street into which the Canadian soldiers arrived as Canada Lane, I guess it translates as.
And what are some lessons to be taken away from these events?
Oh, I would like to say that the world has become a more peaceful place, but you can look at the news any day and see that there are still challenges. There are aggressive countries out there. There are aggressive ideologies out there. And we in Canada, I think, have been the beneficiaries of so much that previous generations have done and that other countries do at the present time in our defense. I do think that as we both remember the sacrifice that was made, is being made by soldiers currently. We have soldiers all around the world, most notably in Latvia and in other places where to stand against those aggressive ideologies.
And what does remembering mean to you?
Oh, I think it means both gratitude for what was done in the past. That visual you have up there of the Vimy Memorial is incredibly powerful. On it are listed the thousands and thousands of Canadians that died in the First War with no known graves. So being grateful for their sacrifice, but also honoring that in being prepared to stand up for our country and what it believes in the face of aggression and helping the world to become a more peaceful place.
Brendan, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Theresa, very much.